that's a great question. I think, the police are, in fact, a mirror of society. Unfortunately, whether we look at politicians, whether we look at our sort of society more generally, there is this tendency to not believe women when they complain about rape, when they when they complain about domestic abuse, sexual assault. They're not taken seriously. There's a lot of victim blaming that happens. There's a lot of victim shaming that happens. And as you rightly said, in the motorway rape incident, we did see very quickly the top cop of Lahore essentially blaming the victim for being out at that time, etc. And it's a typical response that we see within police departments and within sort of political spheres and also sort of social groups and family structures as well. That it's a deeply structural problem. And sexism does run very deeply, and misogyny does run very deeply across institutions and across structures in Pakistan. So the police are no different. And that's why you see, both, you see, on one hand, rape victims and victims of sexual assaults not being taken seriously. And then on the other hand, they're also seen as these vulnerable groups that are then easy targets and easy prey for police officers themselves. So for instance, we've seen in Sindh, for example, where I've carried out my research, there was a very infamous police unit, the CIA, which was essentially used to politically victimize the PPP in the 90s. And we have, horror stories of how allies and friends, female allies of Benazir Bhutto, who were sexually assaulted by this particularly infamous and notorious police unit in Sindh. And then more recently in Punjab, you've got the example of the Lahore top cop victim blaming in the case of the motorway rape incident. But then also we have from 2018, a policeman who was charged for raping a minor in Dera Ghazi Khan. And then in 2019, we have an ASI who was charged for raping a woman in Bahawalpur. So we've got numerous examples, both from Sindh, both from Punjab, across Pakistan, of women either being, treated as easy prey, easy targets when they're in custody, and then also of not being taken seriously when they do come and complain to the police, which is, again, as I said, the first point of contact for them to the criminal justice system.